Greetings of Christ, peace, and love. I am Bishop Oscar Solis of the Diocese of Salt Lake City in Utah. And I have here with me a special person, one of our seminarians in the Diocese of Salt Lake City, Mr. Jaime Zuazo. Jaime Zuazo now is continuing his formation, seminary formation in Mount Angel Seminary in Oregon. And I met him first time in 2017 when I came, and when I was installed as Bishop of the Diocese of Salt Lake City. I saw a different Michael Zuazo here, maybe because he's on vacation and enjoying the Mexican food with his family, different from the seminary. So I'm here to find out exactly and share with you about our seminarian, Jaime Zuazo. So let me begin. Jaime, my dear friend, our Holy Father, Pope Francis, declared the Jubilee year in 2025, and the theme he has chosen is Pilgrims of Hope. He intended it to be a year of hope for the world amid several crises, ongoing war, the effects of COVID-19, and of course, climate change. Our Holy Father wants to instill in our minds that Christian hope in times of adversities, so that we may have the aspiration for good things to come through God. As we prepare for this Jubilee year in 2025, in response to the call of our Holy Father, Pope Francis, what are your hopes for the world and for our church?
Thank you, Bishop, for this opportunity to be with you and to talk about the year of Jubilee. As I was thinking about that question, I think that I will hope in a world that could experience happiness. Happiness, I always seek happiness. I want to be joyful regardless of good and bad times. Mm-hmm. And I think God's mercy and love can give us hope and also let us experience happiness here in this world, regardless of what's going on with all the climate change and all other aspects. When we discover that God loves us, that He has, that He offers forgiveness to us, we could actually experience joy. And we could actually hope to encounter Him in heaven. And I think if we have a world that could experience happiness, it'll be a joyful moment for everyone. And also, as we discover the love of God, we could also listen to Him more, mm-hmm. and to discover in our lives what He wants us to do. Mm-hmm. And by listening to Him, we will also continue to experience joy and happiness. And also, we will learn how to serve Him better. By serving, we could also experience joy.
I'm glad you mentioned about finding happiness in God, because our secular world and culture offers a different kind of joy and happiness that can only be found in God. And that is why a lot of people are unhappy. You know, it so makes a difference in our world when deep in your heart you find God, and you could find a sense of joy amidst challenges and difficulties in life. I want to share with you something that my experiences with other people said, Bishop, why are you always happy? Why are you always glad? Well, you know, after 45 years as a priest and 20 years as a bishop, I learned to surrender my life to God and found inner joy, actually. And that is why sometimes it's a compliment when they ask you, so, why are you always happy? Are you on drugs? So I thought, no, I'm high because of Jesus our Lord. So thank you for sharing us that you discover, a deeper sense of joy, knowing that God is with you and God is there for us. In our life, we find many people that influence us, our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. And in our church, we don't have those Hollywood figures, but we have what you call saints, our heroes. These are holy men and women who live exemplary Christian lives and Christian virtues. So they serve as our role models to be good, to be holy, and to be serving to others, or servants to others. Who is your patron saint or patron saints, and why did you choose them?
Thank you. When I was teaching confirmation class in my home parish, I was actually gonna give a test to the students, and I was looking on the internet for a saint that could help them, or a prayer for someone taking a test, and I discovered San Joseph of Cupertino, an Italian saint, and I read a little bit about him, and then I gave them, the students, that little prayer for them to take the test. And I saw the movie, and I was captivated by him. He is called the Reluctant Saint, but he is an example of piety and also to devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And he struggled a lot in seminary. He wasn't as studious, but he was persistent, and I think his family was influential also for him to keep on pursuing the seminary, and he became a role model for me to follow. I'm from Mexico, so I was confirmed when I was a baby. So I did not go through the confirmation formation process.
Right.
So I didn't get to pick a saint. But when I was teaching confirmation, and I was actually, I encountered him, and I took him as my patron saint. So
I like the word reluctant saint.
Yes.
Reluctant. There are so many struggles, in our lives, doubts and questioning. I was in my own life, I can relate to that because I really don't want to become a priest, but someone that influenced me was my mom, who believed in me. A lot of because of my mischievousness, I'm a very playful guy, mischievous, and so they said, you were sent to the seminary to be reformed, to become a priest. And so when you say persistence and perseverance, what I learned, maybe what you have learned as well, is that all you have to do is give it to God, and God will do the rest. That's the simple lesson I learned of becoming a priest. I just surrendered it all to God, and God did everything. And thank you, Lord, for in spite of my unworthiness, being chosen as a priest and God's servant. Now, experiences in our life help to mold us and become who we are. There are special moments like joy, sadness, even challenges and grief that shape our mind and our heart. Growing up, can you tell us what are those circumstances that affected your faith in God and your relationship with God, faith in yourself and in other people, that help you to be who you are now?
wow.
It's a little bit deeper now, my friend.
It is.
Getting interested.
Well, I moved to the U.S. when I was 12.
Mm.
So moving at that age to another culture, learning another language, experiencing the world that I dream of, was a big change in my life. It has shaped who I am, and it continues to shape, how I do things and how I approach life. It's given me the opportunity to study, to have a better life than back in Mexico, but also the family dynamics. I love my family. I come from a big family, 7 sisters, 1 brother. Everything that goes, at a house where there's a lot of people, there's a lot of opinions, but there's also a strong foundation of God's love. That has also shaped my life. All my sisters, my brothers, my mom and dad, seeing how the values that they inspire in me, everything has shaped me and has changed who I am. And also having the opportunity to go to seminary, that has changed my life. I'm a late vocation. I started seminary not as young, so it has been a difficult journey. It hasn't been easy, but it has been it has changed my life. It has allowed me to read my life in a different way, to find God and my as fellow seminarians, and to appreciate how the teachers are teaching me about life, about truth. So all those things have shaped my life, good and bad things.
I love the way you said it, that all those experiences are like little pieces of a whole artwork that you weave together and find it beautiful in your sake. How you portrayed it. A lot of things that come to our life, every circumstance that come into our life shapes us, no matter what, and it enriches us too. And there are many ways that can make it fruitful for us to have that kind of perspective, that no matter whether it is joy or sadness, challenges, our highest point in our life, when you put them together, enriches us and make us who we are before the eyes of God and the people around us. And that's a beautiful way that you shared about it. Now, after 7 years, we have met. You're now in the seminary. I can see your smiles are getting sweeter and sweeter. Undergoing and continuing your seminary for faith formation to fulfill your desire that you have presented to me in 2017, that you aspire to become a priest. And obviously, God has called you, and God has gifted you and blessed you with a vocation to the priesthood. Why did you choose to become a priest? And how do you describe your current journey of being a seminarian?
Yeah, I still remember the day that I experienced God's tenderness and love through prayer. My family was invited to a charismatic retreat, and they kind of dragged me along.
Uh-huh.
And through prayer, I experienced God's tenderness and love. And that moment touched my heart. It changed my life. And then I began to question myself, what should I do with my life? Mm-hmm. And what better thing to be a tool for God to allow Him to allow others to experience His love and tenderness, especially by celebrating the sacraments and by offering forgiveness to the sacrament of confession. And it changed my life, and now I want to be able to be a tool for others, for God, so others could experience His love and tenderness.
Thank you for sharing to others, about the richness of our faith and the richness of our experiences in living our faith and sharing that faith with others. I am so impressed on how you maximize your time in your seminary in order to expand your perspective of your relationship with God, of your faith, and also the giftedness of being chosen by God to be a servant for others. That's a beautiful thing. We are not only for ourselves. We're created by God to be dispensers of the good news and dispenser of God's grace. So I always share my favorite thing, that in God's wisdom, He created our hearts not as a storage bins, but He created us to become dispensers of God's graces. And so, thank you for sharing about yourself. It's very interesting, even though I have known you for 7 years, but there are many things that you could share with me that more about you that interest me more. And thank you for sharing us a glimpse of your early history that brought you in your current faith journey in your life. Now, lastly, is there anything distinct or quite special that you can still tell us that may help us and help others to know more about you?
That's an interesting question. I don't know what I want others to know about me, but I'm a simple guy, genuine. I love to eat. I love the outdoors, and it's never too late to follow God's call. I think that's something that I could share with everybody. So follow your heart.
Thank you, my brother Seminarian Jaime Zuazo. Thank you for giving your time and sharing with us your gifts, and your relationship with God, with other people, and your current journey. Very interesting. And I hope that this wonderful sharing of our seminarian Jaime Zuazo will inspire you and also open yourselves to the wonderful presence of God in our life, not only to discover Him, but to learn to love Him and to serve Him. Thank you for listening, and God bless you.